Hello everybody. Welcome to a new Rust video where I go ahead and play the new build of Rust and see what it's about. And here we kind of see some of the crazy walls that are going in right now. And this is a picture of a guy that built a big like skyscraper of campfires, I guess, with a new build. He said he had to keep killing people. And here's something pretty interesting. This is actually some new traps that they're working on putting into the game. It's kind of throwing around the idea. I don't know if this is going in anytime soon or not, but kind of work like this where you can set a trap. You'd have to make sure you untrap it before you walk in or out yourself so you don't spike yourself. But pretty interesting ideas there. And now I'm going to go ahead and just show you some of the highlights from playing the new build which I played tonight, which was July 15th. And it seems like every week, or every time I play this, the last couple of weeks, this is only my second time, but it just looks like the progress has grown tremendously on this new build they're working on. Now we can build walls on top of the foundations already. They're working on like no pillars so that you can build some different unique looking buildings. Kind of see that right here, right when I wake up in the world. Kind of see a different kind of building somebody's working on. And I see somebody laying here in the sand with a gun. So I go ahead and first thing is kill somebody. Get some blood, right? Don't get an easier kill than this. And it kind of lags out there for a second. And this is new. It kind of shows you all the body parts, I guess. Almost like the code. But I didn't see any loot there. That was kind of odd. But you do gather human meat. And I think that was in the last time I played as well. The only thing that looked weird here was some of it was cooked and some of it was raw. Now the wolf meat I had got, I had played a little bit and I hadn't hit record and I had found a wolf and hacked at a wolf and killed it and got some wolf meat. But unfortunately I hadn't been recording. And this is the kind of stuff you're going to see in this new build right now, is everybody just building walls like crazy. And here it looks like somebody tried to build a Great Wall of China here to divide the land or something. Pretty interesting. I spent a lot of time doing it, that's for sure. And one thing I can't get over in this new build, procedural maps is kind of growing on me. I'm starting to like the terrain more and the idea of a random map every time. But I really, really like these sunsets. I mean, the sun is just huge and lights up the sky, and the lighting from it is really, really nice. So I really like the sunsets and the sunrises in this new build of Rust. Here I am, go into a third person's perspective again, as you can do if you log in. Just hit F3 and you can go into a version like this. Here I come up to somebody's building here, kind of messing around, and I almost jump up there too easy. So I'm like, what the heck did I do? And I'm like, okay, can I jump over this wall? And by actually double tapping the space bar and double tapping the W key to move up, it's all too easy to make some super jumps and just like jump way high. So I don't know if that's a bug, or I'm sure they'll get that fixed. Otherwise you'd be able to just jump over walls and jump way too high. But it's kind of fun to get in and play with. I was like, wee, naked guy jumping around. Can't beat that. I feel like a kid again. Here I am still trying to figure out exactly how I did it, but it's pretty much just double tap or rapidly tapping the space bar and the W key, and you can make some pretty fantastic jumps, as I do here in a second, I believe. There we go. Yep, got over the wall. And so now I'm like, okay, well, I want to see if I can do this in first person perspective, or if this is just a third person type deal. So I move back to first person, see if I can jump over it again, doing the same thing. And sure enough, so make some pretty good super jumps in this build right now. At least right now, until they fix that. Now this is a wood pile I found. I hadn't found one of these at any time yet. I start smacking it, and I'm not drawing any kind of wood. I'm not gathering any wood. The wood pile is not diminishing as it does in the current Rust. So I was like, okay, that's weird. So I found a rock. I start smacking it. It's not breaking down either, but I start getting wood from the rock. So really bizarre bugs, and you're gonna see this. I mean, they're still developing the game, but it's kind of funny to see some of this bizarre stuff. And here I come up to a naked guy standing. Easy kill again. I'll try to blow his head off here. Get a little bit of lag there or something. Man, it's squirting blood on me. I really like the effect though that the gun gives and the smoke that it leaves, kind of like gun smoke. It's pretty nice. They need to get rid of those code parts for different body parts. That doesn't need to be there, but like I say, while they're developing it, it probably helps them to code it and everything like that to make sure that you're hitting every part's labels correctly and stuff. Make sure you're hitting the right part. I aimed at his pelvis and hit him right in the weenie. Now I shoot right at his butt. Oh, bleeding out the butt. Oh my god. Hemorrhoids deluxe, huh? See if I can get a hand shot. But I didn't show a hand. I guess I can't get that specific. I'm just playing around here. This guy never does die. I don't know why exactly, if it's lag or the guy was lagged out or what. Now I come up to another wood pile here and decide to go ahead and take out my hatchet and whack at the wood pile and see what happens. And this one's working. It's actually breaking down correctly and I seem to be gathering wood from it. And here I hear somebody shooting. They sound like they're really close, so I go into like current rust mode where I'm trying to get all the wood as quick as I can and get out of there. But then I'm like, wait a minute. I have no reason to run. Let's fight this guy. Where is he? Alright. Where are you? Where are you? Ah, there you are. And you know, before when I played a week or so ago, that first video I made, you couldn't really fight anybody in that build, but now you can sort of have some fights. I ran out of bullets, I believe, in the gun. So I got out my bow here, and then I realized I didn't have any arrows. I'm all looking for him, like, where did he go? And I spot him. And this is where I realize I don't have any arrows, I think. Yep, so I take out my hatchet. I'm like, alright, well, I'll take you with a hatchet. Yeah, the current fighting isn't exactly glitch-free, but at least you can do it. Halfway, anyway. It's kind of fun. I highly encourage you guys, if you own Rust, you know, to get in and play with the new build if you haven't done so already. It's really easy if you haven't watched my first video on how to get into the developmental Rust, the new build. If you own Rust, you can do that from the Steam. And you can start hacking at him and got him bleeding. Gun smoke there, I like that. He's dodging. Looks kind of funky. It's kind of hard to tell what you're doing there. And he got me, evidently. So, I'm like, alright. But yeah, if you haven't tried the developmental Rust, watch my first video if you haven't already. It shows you exactly where to go and how to get into it. But it's basically from the Steam page. Go down, right-click on Rust, and then there's a menu. And you just click on try developmental version or something like that. But you got to do it from Steam. Now here I decided to go ahead and try to build a house on a slope, that's kind of what they're working on this past week, I guess, is being able to build foundations and build houses on slopes. So I find a pretty good slope here and decided to go ahead and try it out. And they got walls in this build for the first time, so I can go ahead and try angling some of these walls and see how good I can do at it. I did notice that they went ahead and made it so it's a lot quicker to fill in these foundations or fill in these frames with wood. You don't sit there and have to pound at it 10 seconds on each one anymore. Somebody's shooting right around me. And I'm like, I wanted to go ahead and see what the angle looked like. It's a pretty good angle. It's going to be pretty bizarre if this new build allows us to angle houses like this. I don't know if they're actually going to keep that, or you know, if they're going to limit how much the angle can be. But that's a pretty good angle right there. So I get out some walls and try doing the angled walls or the diagonal walls and stuff. Now right now it seems like you can only really do a wall at like a 45-degree angle, but I think evidently they're going to try to make it so you can put them at any angle you want. And it's already kind of difficult, even with just the 45-degree angle allowance, to get all your walls and corners lined up. Maybe the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, but as you can see, I'm having a little bit of difficulty lining everything up correctly. And, how you're going to put ceilings and stuff on this, I don't know. It's going to look kind of weird. I don't know how they got it figured so that you can do this and make the houses look halfway decent. But it's pretty interesting. They're just trying out a whole lot of new things. That's exactly what this is. That's why it's a developmental build. They're testing different aspects and different ideas and kind of seeing how they work with players. Players get to go in and try their ideas out and either scratch it or, change the idea or whatever is required. But as you can see, I got pretty close here. And then filling in the walls real quick is actually kind of cool. I kind of hope they keep the building foundations and walls this quick when Rust releases. I mean, why should you have to set and spend a minute and a half filling in each wall with wood? Make it quick, because even right now you could see that, in the current version of Rust, if I was building this, I would be in a lot of danger trying to get this thing put in. I'd probably get shot 5 times in some of the more heavily populated areas. So now here I am in my new house. We don't have ceilings yet or anything. So that's about as good as I can do. Going to be pretty easy for somebody to jump inside though. Now one thing I was looking at here, I was like, okay, I see a crack there. But from the third person perspective here, it would be kind of easy to see outside of your house. And I'm kind of looking around, seeing if I can see anybody around my house. And seeing that, and then I'll see 2 guys jumped in my house, I guess, and killed me really quick. Again, kind of buggy and kind of bizarre, but that's cool. So I just relog and I'm like, okay. And I find even a bigger slant here on a hill. And I'm like, all right, well, let's try building a house on this slant, because this is a pretty steep slant. Can't come this way, but I figure that I can go the other way. Make a 3x3. And it looks like it's not going to work, but I mess with it and get it the right spot, and I can get it in. Just a little bit finicky, but it's actually pretty easy. It's pretty nice. And yeah, like I say, if you haven't tried out this developmental build yet and you have Rust, I highly encourage you to try it out. It doesn't have any kind of install time required or anything like that. I mean, you just go to Steam, click try developmental build, and it just loads it right up. There's no installation, or it doesn't put another copy of the the developmental build on your computer or anything like that. It's pretty nice. So I got my foundation filled in. Now notice here that on this hill, it's kind of hard, not only because trying to get these walls lined up and everything like that, but I just keep slipping down the hill. It's like the physics are almost too much, too realistic. I think you'd be able to stand on a hill a little bit easier than that without constantly sliding down. So I think they need to... I can understand they might want a little bit of sliding down a hill for a human, but I mean, we're not a ball, so we don't need to like roll down the hill. So hopefully they get that adjusted quite a bit. Maybe just have a little bit of physics for humans going down a hill. This is a little bit too much. Kind of looks funny though. And I was going to go ahead and speed this up, but I decided to go ahead and leave it normal speed, just so you can always speed it up yourself when you're watching it. But there might be some people that kind of want to see exactly how long it takes or how difficult it is to place these walls and stuff. So I decided to just let it run normal speed, and if you want to speed it up or fast forward, you certainly have the ability on YouTube. Time to fill in the walls here. Get me another house, since those thieves killed me in my other one. Really like that sunset and the mountains and the water in the distance. Really nice. A lot better than the old version of Rust. My biggest hope with this new build is that they get a lot better hacker and cheater protection in, because they've pretty essentially just ruined the current build. Seems like about half the players are using hacks or cheats or glitches of some sort. And here I can't place a sleeping bag. I had an idea that I was going to place another sleeping bag in here, but I can't even place it on the wall or anything because it's at such a slant. Couldn't even place a sleeping bag in there. So now I'm just checking to make sure I can get inside of it by jumping from the top side, which we already saw that jumping is pretty ridiculous right now, so shouldn't be much of a problem to get in or get out. Now a few feet away I've placed a campfire here in the dark, and I just want to test out and see if we can actually cook this raw chicken breast I have. And went ahead and put the chicken breast in here to see if it actually cooks. I think the last time I tried it, I think food wasn't cooking. I'm not sure. Place my jacket on. But yeah, I expect as quick as it seems like they're coming on this, and you know, we can already fight and everything else. I had to get up on this rock to keep from sliding down the hill. See, now notice now I'm not actually sliding down, but down there by the campfire I was still sliding down the hill. But yeah, as fast as they're coming along with this, I try to eat my meat and it won't let you eat the cooked meat yet. I was hitting 6 and it doesn't do anything. But yeah, as quick as they're coming along with this build and as quick as they're implementing, you know, new features and getting this together, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not more than another month, maybe a couple of months before we actually have a pretty rough, very playable build to play on. Where we'll be able to build bases and, you know, fight better and everything else. Oh my god! Got a guy standing right in front of me, trying to shoot him here. Stick your hands up in the air. Drop your gun, drop your weapon. I'm like, don't run for me. Don't run for me. Where are you running from? Like, I'm right behind you. Look at you like a magnet. Shoot you in the back, buddy. Stop running from me. Stop running from me, I said. What the hell is your problem? I am on you like glue, buddy. I am going to kill this guy, I swear. Oh my god, I'm able to look down at him and everything. Follow him up on this rock. I said, put your hands up in the air. Alright. My gun won't kill you. Maybe my bow will. I am going to shoot you right in the butt crack. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, that's me. Yeah, that's one of the bugs, guys and girls. That's one of the bugs with this build here is when you go into third-person view with a bow or a gun, it's like you see yourself running in front of you. Pretty bizarre. Here I find a sleeper and start whacking him with a arrow, and it shows my arrow there as a bag of loot. You can pick it back up. I only had one arrow, and I can pick it back up and shoot the guy again. Okay, at least we can get our arrows back now. I like that. Get my one arrow back again. And can't kill him by shooting him in the head, shoot him in the pee-pee. That kills him every time. Now I actually got a bag of loot. And I can loot the guy. Which I hadn't looted anybody at this point, so that was new for me. Didn't do that in the first video I did. So here I go underwater. I did try swimming out in the first video I did a week or two ago. And I'm trying to build and see if I can build a house underwater to see how ridiculous this thing is. Somebody's shooting near me again. Shots are really loud compared to the distance, though that guy probably wasn't as close as it sounds. And they don't have any kind of, I think in the first version or first video I did have to come up for air. I think I was, you ran out of oxygen underwater. In this build right now, currently, there is no need to go up for air, so I'm able to stay down here as long as it takes to build a house here. Yeah, it makes it really nice being able to just get those walls built so quick. But it still takes enough time to where, you know, it would be dangerous trying to build a house on a loaded server. So I kind of hope they keep that kind of speed, at least building foundations and walls. Here I come up to the top and try to put in another foundation on top, but I think it probably wouldn't let me because it's a foundation. If we had ceilings, it would probably have let me. So I quickly give up on that idea. I wanted to see if I could make it like 2 stories so you could see it in the water. Here I find a foundation on the beach. Not a foundation, a furnace, I mean. And like, wow, 254 metal ore, that's a lot. Throw in some wood and get my first look at a furnace in the new build and a lit furnace. Kind of looks cool, especially on the sandy beach. Again, pretty sunrise. I'm like, all right, get me some metal fragments here. Let's see what's going on. Open the furnace up, and my wood and my metal ore is diminishing, but I've only got 1 metal fragment. Well, so much for that idea, I guess. It's definitely baking that wood and metal ore in a hurry, though. Here I find a sleeping bag placed on a rock, and I shoot it, and notice it goes through the rock and is like sliding down the hill. I'm like, what the heck? Kind of weird. Like, destroy that sleeping bag. Alright, let's try this gun underwater. See what happens. Well, of course it's going to work underwater, just like you can build a house underwater. Should have expected that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to actually get in and kind of play around here. I got a foundation kind of pointed like a cannon on a slope behind a wall. But I highly encourage you to try it. I do want to go ahead and thank you for watching this version of the exploratory build, new build of Rust. And hopefully you've enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed trying it out. Go ahead and leave your comments below, questions, ideas, ratings. Be sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. This has been Zaxter99.